It's your sleeve.
All right, now that we're all prim and proper, Mark and Paulette here, the True Travelers in Mexico, and we're going to talk to you today about the apparently tea time with Paulette.
No, it says write your own
Write
story.
your own story. Well, our story today is going to be about our experience opening a bank account in Mexico.
And barking dogs.
And barking dogs.
That's always a thing in Mexico.
Yeah, it's barking dogs are just kind of the soundtrack of Mexico. But, so our banking experience in Mexico, about a year and a half ago, we opened up an account at HSBC Bank.
About a year.
About a year.
Don't exaggerate.
Well, between a year and a half ago.
A year.
And we got the bank account open. However, we had that bank account for 6 months, and they closed it on us 4 times.
True.
Yeah.
Now give them some detail.
Well, the detail is they closed it on us 4 times. They would never give us a reason why they closed it.
The detail, because I'm detail-oriented, he's not, as you can see. They only did him on the account because he's permanent. They would not allow me to be on the account because I'm temporary.
Yeah.
And you had to present what you always do, your passport, your CURP number.
Yeah, your ID card and all that.
Your visa is permanent resident visa. And then your CFE, which is electric bill, your most current one. And we presented all of that to them, opened up the account, and he got a card. We deposited money in the account, only to find out that they closed it on us.
They would just keep closing the account. We would go back to the bank, reopen the account. The manager could never tell us why the account was closed. So after the 3rd time, honestly, Paulette just had enough and said, that's it. But I said, well, we'll just...
Exit.
We'll give it one more time.
Nixit.
Well,
is it Nixit or exit? What is that expression? I never get them right. Nixit, I think.
Nixit, yeah. So
and you're not being detailed.
After the 4th time of
Your
them
stories
closing my account.
Between each of those, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th time, but he's not telling it.
I just had enough, and we could never get any money out of it. They were always closing our bank account with no particular reason.
I can't even believe that you wanted to do it a 4th time.
I know. I was giving him a shot. So.
Patience. He has patience. Plenty of patience. I do not.
No patience. So we just elected after the 4th time to close our account. Well, it took them over an hour to give us our money out of our account.
And mind you, there wasn't like a line or anything like that at the teller window.
Yeah.
It was a piece of paper that he was handed by the manager, and I think he put it in something in the computer and something, and then it was like he processed like a check, and then it took an hour to do. And I went over to the manager and I said, "You're not going to give me a check, are you, since I don't have an account now that you've closed it?" And he said, "Oh, no, it'll be cash."
Right. So in the meantime, little Miss No Patience there is pacing back and forth in the lobby.
I'm telling you.
And getting more and more frustrated by the minute. Finally, did you leave the lobby?
I went outside, yeah.
Yeah, she went outside. She just couldn't take it anymore.
Couldn't take it.
Just standing at the teller window, watching things happen, but nothing being explained.
What was happening? It took an hour.
The bank basically, I think, wrote themselves a check for taking out the money out of my account, and then they deposited that check back into the bank and then handed me the cash. So we left that bank and we were pretty frustrated, so we just didn't try to open up another account for a while.
But the details that he's not telling you is one of the times when they closed the account on us, he found out because he was at the ATM taking some cash out and he wanted to check his account and he couldn't get any information.
Right.
It was like the account didn't exist. So then we saw manager and they said, oh, your account's been closed. Why? The manager can't tell you. I said, but you're the manager. You should be able to know. Well, I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then another time we got a letter in the mail from the bank saying that our account was closed. Went down there again, yada, yada, yada. Anyhow, after 4 times.
So that was just a frustrating experience. So
very. And I couldn't be on the account.
Yeah.
Did I say that already?
You did, but
I couldn't be on the account because I'm temporary. Only he could.
So we just gave up on trying to open a bank account for a while until we came across our next debacle, which was trying to get reimbursed for on our private insurance plan for a medical bill that Paulette had because something happened and she had to go to the emergency room.
Right, my foot, and I went to emergency. I think I might have talked about it on a video. I'm not sure. Anyhow, that was last May. We are like April 20th.
Almost a year. So.
So they didn't tell us when we signed up that the way to get reimbursed was through a bank account.
You had not
direct
a
deposit.
Bank account, a Mexican bank account.
All right, a Mexican bank account.
So they would not reimburse us to our United States bank account.
I think they know that.
So
a Mexican bank.
That prompted our search again to open another bank account. So the next bank we went to was Citibanamex. So we waited for about 2 or 3 hours in the lobby to be seen. They took all of our information, put it all in a computer. They told us we could not deposit
his
money.
information. They wouldn't take mine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I couldn't be on it again because I'm temporary resident visa.
So they took all of our information again. They would not take a deposit because they said it takes 5 days for the account to be set up.
For them to verify it and what have you.
So we waited for 5 days. We went back on the 6th day. Our account was still not set up. And all they would say is they have to verify where we live because apparently the CFE bill, which everyone else takes, that had our address and our names on it wasn't good enough. So they told us to come back in 10 more days. Well, in the meantime, we did some traveling.
Well, we did go back in the 10 days, didn't we?
No.
We didn't. Okay.
Right. You contacted the girl at the bank and she said it still had not been set up. So at that point, we gave up on Citibanamex.
We said, forget it.
Yeah. Our next stop was at Santander Bank, where we tried to open an account. We took all of our paperwork there, our CFE bill, our official CURP paperwork from the government.
We took our password. This is what you have to have, is your most current CFE bill, which is an electric bill. You have to have your CURP number. We had our RFC number. We didn't the first time at SBC.
Yeah.
But we did have it the 4th try, and it didn't make any difference. We thought maybe that was the reason, but apparently it wasn't. So your CFE, your CURP number, which is like a Social Security number here in Mexico that you get, and our RFC, which is, I don't know, like a Social Security number? I don't know. What's the difference?
The RFC is also a tax identification number, too. Both the CFE, or not CFE, both of the CURP and the RFC have like Social Security type aspects to them. But the RFC is really more for a tax identification number. And the other one, the CURP number, I think, is more like for tracking and stuff like that.
And then the, of course, is permanent resident visa.
Yeah.
Again, he was only on the account, not me.
I take that back. The CURP number is really a population identifier number. That's how.
Population? What does that mean exactly?
That's what they use it for.
What number you are?
How they figure out their population by assigning you a number that's both.
Everyone's tracking you, right?
Everyone's tracking you. So
there's no escape.
Still trying to get reimbursed from our private medical insurance company. We go to Santander Bank. Now, we sit down at the table, they start to help us, and then for some reason their system would not recognize my CURP number, even though we had the official get
Paper.
paperwork from the government with our CURP number on it. Their system would not accept it for whatever reason. And
I mean, she must have done it like a dozen times.
yeah, she eventually told us that, I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore. So we left that bank, and then we decided to go to Intercam Bank, which we had heard about. So we went there, and
We heard that it was really friendly for foreigners, even you said tourists?
Well, tourists are foreigners, but
no, I mean like
people with temporary residency visas and permanent residency visas, they will open an account for either one of those.
But will they do that for tourists too?
I don't know.
Oh,
it depends on your origin country. So we went there. It was a very pleasant experience. The girl took all of our information.
She spoke some English.
Yeah, she spoke some English. She told us to come back the next day because it takes about a day, 24 hours or so for them to set up the account.
And I asked, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, can I be on the account too, even though I'm temporary resident visa holder? Yes, not a problem.
Right. And so we went back the next day. The account was all set up. She gave us our ATM debit cards. And then she helped me set up the online banking information because that was a pretty complex process.
No, very. Every time he did something, entered information, it gave him a code.
Right, which I then had to repeat back to her. And then she would put the code in. And you think that was about a dozen times?
About a dozen times. Right. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And she goes, oh, no, this is only to set it up. This won't.
Yeah, this isn't going to be.
This won't be
every time. But still, all in all, it was a very pleasant experience.
It was.
For us.
And the manager, his office is right there. He spoke English. He came out. Very, very good customer service.
Right. So we made a deposit in the bank that day.
And that was number 7 of trying to open an account. Four times with HSBC. Once with, what is it?
Citibanamex, once with Santander, and then finally with our bank, Intercam Bank. So it was a very pleasant experience. One thing did come up for me after that, though, is I tried to pay our CFE bill online, which is... And Intercam was one of the banks that CFE will take a payment from. But I went online and wouldn't accept my payment, so the bank rejected it. So I went back to the bank.
Of course, fear is going, they closed our account. I was having Mark check like just about every day to see if that money from the, Seguro private insurance went through.
Yeah.
It hadn't. But I kept having him check after our experience at HSBC where they kept closing it. Sure enough, it was open. It kept showing our deposit, which was good.
So anyway, I couldn't make a payment for my CFE bill, so I went back to the bank. He explained to me that the security code number that's on the back of the card isn't actually the security code number.
Well, it is the first time.
The first time.
When they give it to you.
Yeah. After that, you have to use the online app to generate a security code, which is good for 3 minutes.
Which is pretty amazing. Yeah. I mean, kudos to you, Mexico, for doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. Some things surprised me.
So with that information learned, I came back home, was able to successfully pay my CFE bill. So we were very pleased about that. That was another motivation for us to get a bank account, is so that we could pay the CFE bill. If we were traveling somewhere and couldn't print it out online and take it to an OXXO, or if we were in another country at the time when a bill came, we would need a way to pay it, but
or just a way here in Mexico.
That would have been difficult. So I'm so happy that is finally resolved. And like I say, our experience at Intercam has been a very pleasant experience.
Really good.
They actually, in all of their advertisements, they cater to foreigners and expats. That's how they operate. They're an investment institution, really, kind of I think, kind of like Charles Schwab, if you're familiar with that in the United States. But Intercam is based in Puerto Rico, but they have branch offices here in Mexico. And
you said you can do it online too?
yeah,
open an account?
you can open an account online.
I wonder how you could do that though, really online. I mean, Schwab, they have you go online and do that.
Right.
So I guess it's kind of maybe the same way, because what they do is they verify.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They verify all of your stuff.
Yeah,
and then,
they verify all that information.
So, again, very pleased with Intercam Bank. It's a bank that I say caters towards foreigners and making the banking situation easier for them.
And while we were there, I double checked to make sure that I was on the account, and I'll tell you why. Because Seguro, right? That's the name of it.
Right.
The Seguro private insurance that we got a year ago is supposed to cover me for accidents. Well, when I fell last May and hurt my foot and went to emergency, that's what I was waiting to get reimbursed.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to go through a conference call with them, with the English speaking person that was interpreting. Then they had us sign a letter because they said that only Mark was on the account, which freaked me out because when we went to Intercam, they said we were both on the account. I got a card that I'm thinking is Mark only on the account, but I have a card to his account only. So when we went back there, I verified that, and I'm definitely on the account. They verified that twice.
Yeah.
But this insurance company was like, yo, no, you have to sign this letter. You both have to sign it so that you can get reimbursed. They can go to Mark's account. And I'm like, I'm on the account too. Hello. So we had to do that. And I mean, it's just been a nightmare with this insurance company. We decided not to renew it.
Right. It's just been a huge debacle.
Yeah.
For us.
And it was supposed to be, from what I understood, you know, if it was an accident, you were reimbursed 100%. No, they take out 10%.
10%. So you get reimbursed for 90% of your costs. If
90%.
in fact you can actually get them to pay you, which we're still trying to do.
We're still trying to get them to pay us. I tried to use somebody else's account. Nope. Can't do that. So, and again, you know, either something was lost in translation when we got the insurance, or honestly, I don't think that was explained.
Yeah, I don't think
that we had to
bothered
have a Mexican bank account to get
to
reimbursed.
mention that little detail to us.
Right.
So,
right.
All right.
So if you guys do like what we're doing, we try to bring you information all the time on Mexico as we find it out, and our experiences, our travel, whatever we're up to doing, which is usually no good. No, just kidding. Anyhow, if you like what we're doing, think about subscribing to our channel. It's a small channel, but like I said, I mean, we're pretty real people. You know, what you see is what you get in person. And hit that subscribe button and leave us comments below. And from the two travelers in Mexico.
What she did.
Bye, guys.
Bye.